Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 is going to be here soon, and that brings to mind a lot of questions, such as what's all going to be there, the content, is there going to be Hero Coliseum, are we going to have better online matches, what's all going to be there, and what are we going to be looking forward to in this new game that we've been asking for years for. What's up guys, Cyanide Plays here to talk more about Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 because I can't get it out of my mind. And not only that, but I've been recently trying to play the story to get more acclimated to how it feels. I've been playing more on the PC side, but I have yet to play it on the PlayStation side, where a lot of my online gameplay is going to be. More of that coming soon, but for now, let's discuss a little bit about things that we have on our minds, things that we want to talk about, things that we have been questioning what the producers have been having in store as far as the very obvious questions that we have had in our minds. Races and transformations. Now let's get the obvious ones out of the way. The Saiyans. Obviously we're going to have male Saiyans and female Saiyans. We're going to have the ability to transform into Super Saiyans. And we're going to have the ability to transform into God forms of those, such as Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, and Blue Evolve. But what else on there can we expect, or at the very least, what else do we want in terms of transformations? Obviously, transforming into Super Saiyan means we get Super Saiyans 1, 2, and 3. Has to happen, of course. But also, Super Saiyan God, Blue, and Blue Evolve in Xenoverse 2 are separate transformations. So likely we will have them as one whole transformation, or not likely, but that was something that we ought to have since they can do that. Both Goku and Vegeta can go Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue, and Vegeta can obviously go Blue Evolve. So it makes sense to have that as a whole one transformation, just to go God mode for CACs. It would make sense otherwise, since Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, and Super Saiyan 3 can do that. May as well put that in the God form as well. Don't see why they would make separate transformations for those. Although other ones that were given to us as DLC or updates further down the line. But now that Xenoverse 3 is going to be featuring the Super Saiyan God transformations, it makes sense for it to just be all one transformation. The other two transformations that we have for Saiyans is Future Super Saiyan and Super Vegeta. And here's my thoughts and opinions on what should be, standard for these transformations. For one, I believe that Future Super Saiyan and Super Vegeta should just disappear. Like, they're cool, nice transformations for your Saiyans, and it's something separate from Super Saiyan, so you don't have just a set amount of attack damage, or the transformation to go Super Saiyan 3 to lose your stamina and whatever, or just a fast transformation you need at a spur of the moment. But Super Saiyan already is a standard transformation, so why have 3 different forms of Super Saiyan when you can have one transformation into a Super Saiyan have all 3 benefits, such as a fast transformation where you can get your ki back and your stamina as well. And the further down the line, the harder that it is. Once you get Super Saiyan 3, ki and stamina kind of is a little bit hard to come back to since you're not fully used to Super Saiyan 3. But also have the added benefit of high attack damage in both basic and ki blast. Maybe give a little bit more stamina recovery. I'm not too sure. Like, you'll have to think about it, or let me know in the comment section how you feel about that part of the transformation, having the Super Saiyan 3 give good ki and stamina, or should keep it as a standard Super Saiyan 3 would normally have it. But also, since Super Saiyan 3 gives it, I believe, is a 15 to 20% buff or increase in attack damage, and Super Vegeta gives a 15 to 20% increase in special or ki blast attack damage, they should probably reduce it to about 10 to 15% increase in damage, just so it can be an even amount and a well-balanced amount for Super Saiyan in base Super Saiyan form. And then as 2 and 3 progressively comes around for a 3-bar, 4-bar, and 5-bar ki transformation, just give it the extra attack damage needed and the defensive buff that comes with it. I believe that's that's a good move to do as far as the transformation to a Super Saiyan. But also, I don't believe that Future Super Saiyan and Super Vegeta are necessary. But in case they do want to keep something like that, on the table for other CAC, or not other CACs, but other Saiyans, there is something else that they can put in the game that we have not gotten yet. 3 different transformations for Super Saiyans, or for Saiyans in general, 4 by extension, is Rage Mode for Super Saiyans, the same transformation that both Vegeta and Trunks got during their time. Vegeta up against Beerus and Trunks up against Fusamasu. The legendary Super Saiyan transformation that both Broly's and Kale have. The obvious one, Super Saiyan 4. And this one's a bit of a stretch, but you could give it to CACs as something, you know, unique to Saiyans. Like Super Saiyan isn't already unique, but it can be a unique transformation for Saiyans in general. The Ozaru or Grade 8 form that Super Broly has before he became a Super Saiyan himself, when he fought against Goku and Vegeta. That form might be something, but that is I'm not going to say that's something they can do or something they should do, but it's an option. But the other 3 transformations, Rage, Super Saiyan 4, and Legendary Super Saiyan transformations, definitely fit the vibe of what other Saiyans can do for their transformations. Now, as we move on to Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan God Blue and Blue Evolve as having a set transformation, there is going to have to be a change for these transformations. So for Super Saiyan God, the transformation from base to God only costs 3 bars, but it most likely increases your physical attack, and most likely it just affects your stamina. It doesn't affect your ki. You get a chunk of ki back, or a regular amount of ki back. I'm not too sure, or I don't really remember, but I know your basic attack has a substantial increase, and your ki blast damage doesn't really change all that much, whereas Blue and Blue Evolve have big increases in everything. Your attack, your defense, your ki blast, your stamina recovery. You lose ki as your stay transformed, but it does reduce over time, but not by much, since it got its update a few years back. So it's actually a pretty solid transformation to have. But now if you incorporate that into God, Super Saiyan God, it shouldn't do that anymore, or at the very least, it should change it to where basic attack is not the only thing that gets increased. It should increase your ki blast attack as well, but not by much. Similar to how Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan God Blue, and Blue Evolve should have like a 20% increase, maybe 25% increase, and 30% increase in every stat. And of course in defense and speed as well, but that's still, it's wishful imagination, but I think that can actually work. I think in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, they can actually put that in there, since we know that, you know, Goku and Vegeta can do that and have done it several times. We've seen Vegeta in the Broly movie do that very move, Goku as well, but also Goku did it during the Tournament of Power several times. During his fight alongside Hit, he's done that very thing. Transformed from Blue to God to Blue to God to Blue throughout the fight. So we know it's entirely possible for CACs to have that ability if they put that in the game. If they put that in there for us to use, that is definitely a move that can be done. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about the transformations to Super Saiyan 4, the legendary Super Saiyan and Rage mode. They can just give them a standard power increase their attack, or switch it up and increase their defense, or something along those lines. Reduce their speed of your legendary Super Saiyan. Don't make you too bulky, just give you that green aura that Broly has, or something along those lines. Increase your attack but lower your speed, but increase your defense, or something like that. Basically, Bandai Namco can just use their imagination when it comes to those transformations in general. Now, moving along, we can go to the Earthlings, and I'm going to say up front, no Power Pole Probe, okay? No Nimbus Cloud, no Power Pole. That was one of the stupidest transformations. If you call that a transformation, hop on a Nimbus Cloud, use the Power Pole, and then go left. That's all they did. That's all Earthlings did. And truth be told, I haven't seen any of an Earthling use Power Pole unless you just cheesed your way to a win. And even still, the only way you got out of that was to throw them, and then you had to call a Nimbus to do it again. So no Power Pole Pro. The transformation sucks. Move on to the next thing. Now, there are certain ideas that kind of spring to mind that a lot of people have been thinking about as well when it comes to the transformation of what Earthlings can do. We already have 2, maybe 3 of the classic ones in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. That's Kaioken, which we've had at the beginning. Potential Unleash, which is standard for every transformation for Earthling and for any other character as well. And then we have Beast, that is universal for all characters, but also it's kind of something that Earthlings kind of share. Like it is definitely something an Earthling can do, but it's also something a Saiyan can do. It's something definitely any character has the ability to do. Let's get this straight. Any character has the ability to go Beast, just like any character has the ability to go Ultra Instinct. It's not exclusively to Saiyans, it's not exclusively to Earthlings. Any character can go Ultra Instinct or Beast, which is fine. But Earthlings should have a more exclusive transformation, and I think I might have an answer for that. Pure Progress is the move that Hit can use when he's learning as he fights. He's getting stronger as the fight continues, and that transformation, though it's exclusive to Hit, it's not exactly a exclusive type of transformation. In fact, anybody can really do it, to be perfectly honest, but Earthlings are known to have higher potential than any other character in all of Dragon Ball. Like, any Earthling can grow stronger as long as they're exposed to stronger enemies. Like, granted, they'll be frailer than normal enemies, but they survive the attack. Like Saiyans, they can grow, they can learn, and they can progress. And I think that's an exclusive Earthling type ability, or something close to it or akin to it, that you can give to an Earthling that can definitely work out. I think that Earthling should have an exclusive transformation, something like Superhuman, I guess, or Pure Progress, something along those lines. Give them, I don't know. Actually, yeah, use your imagination on that. But Pure Progress is definitely something I think that Earthling should have exclusively. No Power Pole Pro though. No Power Pole Pro. Now we're gonna get this out of the way. Kaioken, Ultra Instinct, and Beast mode, those are not exclusives. Anybody can do that. I mentioned this already, but I think there's something that you can do where you could probably make it something stronger than classic transformations, because their exclusive transformations should not be stronger than universal ones. Potential Unleash is another universal one, but it's not stronger than Super Saiyan. It's not stronger than Blue or Blue Evolve. It's not even stronger than Golden. It's just a standard universal transformation. It's fast. It gives you a buff in all stats. Stamina recovery, ki recovery is mostly used for Earthlings when they don't have another transformation that they reliably use. So I think that Potential Unleash, as well as Ultra Instinct, because that is the highest level of transformation available to Goku, Beast, and one other, if they put this in the game, it won't be animated because it is just a known thing that can happen, but once they animate it, it's definitely a move they can use. Ultra Ego. Give that one to, not exclusively to any other person, or you could probably give it to Earthling. I don't know, that might work out as well. But also make those moves stronger than anyone else with probably a higher risk. Now we're also going to knock these out of the way as well. Namekians should definitely just be able to go orange, and also just make them bigger and burlier, or maybe orange is fine. I don't really know how you can animate a further transformation than what Piccolo looks like, other than just make your Namekian orange. You have a green Namekian. I mean, you can make your Namekian already orange, and then just make him more orange. I don't really know, but orange transformation is just you can transform into an orange Namekian. I don't really know how they would do that particular, but that is a transformation that, hey, Piccolo unlocked. And there's 2 stages to it, so they can do something with that. Giant forms can probably stay. It is exclusive to the Namekians. I really hope that they don't put that in the game anymore, since being giant isn't exactly a, how do I say, relevant. But it could be a cool transformation to have, so I would say keep that for them as well. But definitely the orange Piccolo, or the orange transformation, or go orange, because you know Frieza's can go golden or turn golden. So orange transformations for Namekians, sure. The Majins can definitely have their purification form, but also I think there's another transformation that I'm not too sure of that they can have. Don't quote me on that at all. Or maybe the ability to absorb, maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't put that in there, but purification is definitely something they should keep. And like I said with Frieza, they should keep the golden. Now, when it comes to Frieza race, when they had the ability to animate it later, the black transformation can also be a transformation as well. But can we put the metal version in there? Can we make them metal Frieza race? Like, metal isn't exactly a transformation per se, but it can be something where actually, hold on, I take that back. Since we know that Cooler goes from his base form to what he is, can we give that one as a transformation to completely change their appearance? Since we do know that Majins go into purification form, they all looking like Kid Buu, is it entirely possible to make Frieza race look like Cooler at full power? That might be an idea. And it's exclusive to Frieza race. No other race can just simply change their appearance into what they are, like the Majins can. So that might be an idea. I might have just thought that at the top of my head, but changing Frieza race to look like Cooler's full power final form, that might be an idea. That might be something that they can look at, they can look into. There might be something on that. Now, moving on to new races. If you guys did not see on the trailer that there is a precedence for new races within the game itself, and I've mentioned already that there are in fact 2, maybe 3 new races, potentially 2, but there can also be another race that we are not fully aware of yet. We don't even know what the game is. We barely know anything about New City, so there's not going to be any more in-depth thought process behind any new races outside of, you know, all the other ones that can be featured. But I will feature at least 3 potentially new races that they can add into the game, and their potential transformations if at all possible. So we'll start with the one that I kind of personally would like to have in the game, androids. Now, androids can also be classified as earthlings. You can obviously give earthlings and androids the same type of genetic DNA, and they will work in the same manner, you know? Like, earthlings and androids can literally do the exact same thing, but the only difference for androids versus earthlings, which I don't think is also relevant because they can do this too, is just take away the ability to charge, but also give them really high key recovery. Giving androids the ability to get their key back faster than an earthling might be something that I'm not too sure about, and give them high stamina recovery can also make or break the game. That could be a thing that really ties things together, because female Majins, when their stamina is broken, they get their recovery back almost instantaneously. But having a fast stamina recovery as an android and that fast key recovery as an android might break the game. So it's an idea. I don't want to have broken CACs that also have square triangles or XYs in the game as well. So we want to be balanced. But the idea for an android would be something akin to maybe 16. Like, they can't get their ki back over time, but they can get their ki back as they are fighting. Because ki in the game doesn't really mean much, and stamina over time can happen as you fight as well. They get their stamina and ki back as they fight. Maybe their stamina recovery is normal, but they get that as well when they do damage or when they hit somebody. Because obviously when they're taking damage, they lose stamina as well, but they don't get ki back when they're taking damage either. That can also be a thing. Not entirely sure about that, because you get your ki back when you clash, but you can like not get your ki back when you're literally being hit, when you're being punched in the face or punched in the gut, or something along those lines. Something that gives a balance between the androids' ki recovery and stamina recovery, but also make it so that their defenses aren't that good, or something like that. I would think that would work for an android. I really did not think more about this, or did not really capitalize on my notes when I looked at it. But as far as androids go, their biggest thing is that their lack of exhaustion. Like, they don't get exhausted. They don't get tired. They just keep going until the battle is over, or they just malfunction, you know? Now, as far as transformations go, we see that there is precedence for a potential higher level of transformation. In 2, 3, maybe examples would be Super 17 and Android 21, but also with Cell. Now, Cell is an option. We can have a different form of android for the races. We can have one that looks like Cell, or can we have one that looks like a humanoid, and then your choice of a male or female. If you choose a character like Cell, you can only choose the male. If you choose a humanoid version of an android, it can be male or female, and then their transformation can look like Super 17 or Super 18 or like 21, something like that, you know, kind of ish. That I would think can work in the andronic standpoints. You know, as far as transformation, they get an increase in everything, kind of like Potential Unleash. Not that big of a transformation. Everything just raises up by 10%. It's completely balanced. They don't really lose anything, which is a kind of differentiation between the two, is that you gain a lot but don't lose anything, but you don't gain as much as like a Super Saiyan. You don't gain a big attack increase. You don't gain that much speed. You just don't lose as much stamina. You don't lose as much ki. You don't gain no extra defenses. You don't gain no extra speed. You gain a little bit of attack. You gain a little bit of ki blast. You know, something like that. And then if you go on with the Cell level of transformation, you actually get a transformation kind of like that of, well, Cell or a Saiyan. You get all the beneficial increases, more speed and attack, and even increase in speed and attack, probably 15%. A little bit more on speed since androids are known to be fast. And I would say pretty good stamina recovery and not that much ki recovery. Probably like a standard amount of ki recovery maybe, because like I said, androids don't really need to charge or they don't lose as much ki during any altercations or anything like that. Oh, there's an idea. Have their attacks do less ki or consume less ki. How about that? How about the amount of damage or amount of ki that they're able to use is halved? You know, like if they launch a Kamehameha, instead of taking 100 bars of ki, which is just 1 bar ki, they only lose 50. If they use an ult, it would just take a bar or a bar and a half or something. If it's a 5-bar ult, they'd lose 2.5 bars. Oh, that can be an idea. How's that for an idea? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section down below. Moving on to the next one is what I would think that ought to be in the game, since we featured, well, both of these really. But we featured these guys a lot, and we've actually been fighting them a lot to the point where they need their own story. The Demon Race. And we already know there's set precedents that their Demon Race might actually be characters within the game. There might actually be a character who's making a song or like a pop sensation or whatever, like a K-pop sensation, and she's got demon features. But there are good demons and there are bad demons. Just like for the Namekians, there are Namekians who fight and Namekians who grow crops. So for the Demon Race, we can say that, you know, they have different forms or different attributes. We know demons reside in the demon realm, and they're like Toa and Mira. They're like Demigra. They're like Goma, and they, you know, have darkness type power or dark energy. But also, they can be akin to, I think the Supreme Kai is somewhat akin to demons. They're not exactly angels, but they're on the upper half of the demon realm, if that makes any sense. They're demons that don't have demon-like powers. If I'm not making any sense in this, I think that's how you can explain it, because I think the Supreme Kai has a sister that's in the demon realm, if I'm remembering Dragon Ball Daima correctly. I could be wrong. Correct me on that if I'm wrong. The transformation with demons, well, it's just releasing their demon energy. They can transform, they can have long hair, they can have black eyes, and stuff like that, and it just is a transformation of releasing their demonic power, their demon energy. They don't have to get big and bulky or anything like that. It's just demon energy released. If that's a thing. Kind of makes him look like Hiei or Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho. Or better yet, look like Yusuke when he's going his full Mazuku power. Basically, when it comes to demons, they're always an enigma. They always have the ability to just release a ton of power when you least expect it. And their transformation is always monstrous and crazy. But we never seen that in Deborah, but we know that he was the strongest cell at the time of his introduction, but was way stronger fighting against the Supreme Kai of Time, and was easily able to take control of the Time Nest and was taking revenge on losing his sister Toa. We know that they can get stronger, and we've seen that example in Mira as well in his final transformation. So the demons can probably have a transformation where their hair spikes or their hair gets long and they just have the black eyes, and they just release red or black aura around them or something like that. That is going to take a little bit more imagination. Actually, this picture of Toa might actually be akin to what I would think. Probably put Edemy will put Toa and Mira beside each other and, you know, kind of like gaze at them a little bit. Maybe a few in the background as well. Now the third type of character that we can put into the game for CACs would be the angel race. Since we already have demons, why not have angels? And we know that angels can be in the game as well, since we know about the other angels from the Tournament of Power that were featured beside their gods of destruction. Now, if you guys are going to say, oh, well, that's the case, then why don't we have gods of destruction as, you know, another race? Well, gods of destruction aren't races. I know angels aren't technically race either, but in this case, since all of the angels practically are siblings, they may have their own type of race. I'm not too sure. We only seen one type of angel. We seen Vados and Whis and Vados literally looking like brother and sister. We know the Grand Priest is practically their father. We haven't seen any other kinds of angels that look remotely different from them. But we've seen different forms of goddess of destruction. We even seen Beerus and Champa who can be related to them, which also reminds me, there might be precedents for a race like Beerus and Champa in Xenoverse 3. I don't know if that's going to be true or not, because Dispo technically is not, you know, he doesn't look anything like Beerus, but they gave him the somewhat similar shade of color upon introduction. So I don't know, maybe animals as a different race, that can be an idea. Now when it comes to angels, their transformations are a bit questionable, because in all honesty, they don't have any visual transformations that is needed or necessary. All angels can go Ultra Instinct. I believe that is their base forms, but they can also have a transformation where Ultra Instinct can be supplemented. Don't make them invincible, just make it like, you know, kind of like Whis. If you ever played Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, you know that Whis has a built-in ability to dodge attacks when he's just standing still. If he's blocking, he can't dodge anything, but when he's literally standing still, he cannot get hit by a lot of things. Ki Blast, physical attacks, I think he can still get hit by super attacks, but he basically dodges everything on point. There's also one other type of race that could be, I guess, in a sense, that you can put into the game, and you can also make a point where you can literally just put this type of transformation in the game as well, and it can be either universal or exclusive, and that's whatever race Jiren is. I'm going to go on the limb and just call him an alien. We're just going to call him an alien race, because aliens do exist in the world of Dragon Ball, crazy enough, and the ability just to go full power literally can just be an Earthling thing, but also can be an everybody thing. Everybody can just go full power. However strong full power is, everybody can go to their fullest potential. And whatever race Jiren is, where he can get as strong as a God of Destruction or even stronger than a God of Destruction, I would think it makes sense for a character like him to be featured into the game, since there was a civilization where he and a bunch of others that were like him existed at one point in time. I do think that, you know, that would be definitely something that's new. An alien race would definitely be something new and something different. I think a lot of people would have fun playing something outside of just the realm of Saiyans or demons or anything that existed on the Earth at the time. What do you guys think? You guys think that my ideas or my thoughts are a bit outlandish and weird? Or you actually vibe with me, or you have any ideas of your own? Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. And if you guys did enjoy this, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.